All right, everyone. Hello. Uh,
Hi, welcome back to Loners Podcast. This is episode 20.
the big 2-0.
Yes.
Just want to say thank you to who subscribed over the past video. We appreciate it.
Video.
I didn't say video. I said video. Whatever. But yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
When we're in Oregon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have we posted our vlog channel video for Oregon. The first one for Oregon. It's up, so if you want to go check it out, I'm going to put the link of that channel in this description.
yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, one of the big things we did an escape room on mushrooms. So if you want to check that out, make sure to follow that other page because that'll be posting sometime soon.
I still have to figure out how I'm going to
Yeah.
do that video. We literally just recorded like us being in there and like
Yeah.
the whole hour we were in there. I'm probably going to have to do like a time lapse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I had fun. We went to like Portland area. We saw
Yeah.
Phoebe Bridgers, which is a reason we went. I've been wanting to see her for the past couple years, but we live in LA and like the tickets are so expensive there's a few artists that I want to be like right there where they're at, and she's one of them. So I was like, okay, I want to check out like other areas. Like I like to like check out other venues that are like in nearby states.
Yeah.
To like see if the venue is a little bit more like
intimate.
Or yeah.
This one was definitely, you could tell it's way more intimate than it would have been in LA. In LA, it would have been like at I don't know if it was a stadium type of thing, but it was a big venue. Yeah, and you're way further away, not as good like seeing
and these
her.
tickets were like $60, which is pretty fair.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a standard ticket for everyone.
Yeah.
It wasn't like tiers and all that stuff.
It was the vibe
So
was
that
really
was
nice
nice.
at the venue. Everyone, like people in general, were nice. I do notice Oregon people are very like considerate people.
I wouldn't say they're all just considerate.
No,
It's
I'm not
just
saying everyone, but
the lifestyle seems different there. Yeah,
they're way more like easygoing. Yeah,
I think
and
it's more our like millennials and Gen Z that are more like laid back there.
yeah, it seems like people don't really judge other people that much over there. Like no one gives a shit what you're doing, what you're wearing, anything. Like they don't really care.
For the most part, I know that Oregon has a lot of like racist roots. Obviously,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of like sundown towns and stuff over there.
Yep.
But from what you were saying, like the places we chose to hang out
Yeah.
were definitely places like where you could walk out looking like shit and nobody would even bat an eye. Like,
Yeah.
and
But yeah, also I wanted to just say, kind of like clear up, like, in the last video, I know it's everything we say on any video is just opinion. We're not trying to say that we're right or there's facts. We're just stating our opinion, just like as a conversation. So we're not expecting to like be like, this is the document, this is accurate. We're literally just saying our opinion.
we're just having
about
a
stuff.
conversation.
Yeah,
If you don't
that's
agree,
it.
that's great.
Yeah.
Just don't watch or listen.
Yeah, just don't expect us. We're not trying to like
Sell you on anything.
yeah, it's just we're just talking. That's it. But again, we do appreciate people who followed.
Thank
There
you.
was one person too that I felt kind of bad about. Who she
What?
said she was a boomer, and I think we mentioned something about like boomers need to die off. We don't mean all of you, okay?
We think
We-
the mindset of most boomers,
Yeah.
especially like the time you guys grew up in,
Yeah.
that
Well, the
That
people
needs to
that
die
are in
off.
charge of the United States right now are
Boomers are
mostly older. Yeah, and there's a lot of them that don't want progress. Those are the people we're talking about. We're not. I know there's some really cool like people who lived through like like the hippie
Yeah.
era and everything that are really cool
Yeah,
people.
it's-
We love you guys. You're good. Okay, just wanted us to clear that up.
that's,
All right.
so, that's so sad.
Oh, I never said. All right, roll that intro.
Yeah, late intro. It's fine.
I might just like edit it, move forward.
All right.
Okay, so
Or just
today.
leave it. Who cares? It's
Yeah.
just a late intro.
Today we're gonna do a little different type of video. We've never watched this video, but we're gonna do a reaction to a video.
Yeah. We were going to
So.
talk about some like borderline pop culture shit for a second, but I don't know. Brian had a better idea. So he just said, "Oh, we should watch this video, get a like live reaction to it, just to I don't know, commentate." I don't know. So you're gonna cut that whole part out.
All right, here we go. America is bad at everything. America continues to be bad at everything. Rat patch. Okay, so just a little what we're talking about. So we're gonna be watching a video called "Why America Sucks at Everything" that's narrated by David Cross from Arrested Development. But yeah, so we're just gonna give you an American perspective of these things that
This
they
is
talk
just
about.
our like reaction to the video.
Yeah, we've never seen this, so
Wait, pause it for 1 sec. Again, this is our opinion. You
Yeah.
don't have to agree.
yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Whatever we say is our.
America is the greatest country on earth, the strongest, the richest, the most powerful country on earth. As an American, I'm sure you've heard that roughly 135 times a year. 235 if you go to public school. 335 if you go to a Christian academy. We're told that Americans have the best lives of any people in the world, that we have low taxes, small government, and the highest living standards on earth. And most inaccurately, that we're the freest. Well, it is partly true. America is the richest country, not just in the world, but in the history of the world. It's really hard to comprehend just how rich we are. We have 18 million people who are millionaires. American households own about $100 trillion in wealth, an almost unthinkable amount of money. Okay, so America is the richest country ever. But there's a curious paradox. Most Americans actually have a much worse standard of living than people who live in poorer countries like Germany or Finland or Britain, but
The math is not mathing on that at all. I also am curious, like, foreigners in other first world countries or developed countries, I'm wondering if they grew up thinking America is the best country, or if they were told, like,
I think
if they were gassed up the way we were.
No, I think from what I've seen that they see certain people living a certain way, like celebrities and shit.
Yeah, I think
and they
that's,
get like a dream image of like it's the best. But what I've
Yeah.
seen lately a lot is Europeans actually saying that when they were younger they wanted to come here, and now that they're older they thank God that they're in Europe because they don't have to worry about like medical debt and a bunch of
Yeah.
other debt and stuff
well, when
like
you're
that.
a child, you're not paying for bills, so you just see the glitz and glamour
Yeah.
of other places. You don't see
Yeah.
the actual, like, I think the word struggle is kind of ignorant because there are a lot of people struggling here. But I feel like we've made it like taboo to talk about struggles here because we're
Yeah.
like, well, look at other countries,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. But when we compare ourselves, and when I say we, I'm basically talking about like people that have like-minded
Yeah.
and whatever. When we compare ourselves to other countries where we're lacking, we're not comparing ourselves to third world countries. We're comparing ourselves to other developed first world countries.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's very specific countries that we're comparing ourselves to, and
And
it just doesn't make sense how they're able to have such a better quality of life, but yet we're a lot richer. I don't know.
We're not richer. The government, apparently, even though we're in this shit ton of debt.
how can that be? That shouldn't make any sense. Well, here's the shitty deal. Americans get significantly worse services because our tax dollars don't fund them. So, of course, our services are worse, and thus we enjoy less happy lives than people who live in the aforementioned countries. Not that difficult a concept to conceive, really. You get what you pay for, said the cartoon dog to the other cartoon dog. And while you might think the reason American tax dollars don't fund as many services is because we pay lower taxes than other countries, that's not even true.
I figured that. Honestly,
There's no
I
way.
figured that too. And like our taxes just go to like defense and military.
and farm.
I mean, but also people that are
Pharmaceutical.
paying for certain things that say you pay for what or you get what you pay for. Sorry. if you didn't pay that and just paid a collective thing for like health insurance and everyone had health insurance, it would be kind of the same thing. You'd actually probably pay less in those taxes, and then everyone would just be covered. But I don't know.
I think a lot of people who are like thriving financially in this country, no matter how they got there, they see that if something benefits other people below them, that it's taking away. That's just how they see it.
I guess I can see that.
It's like this like hierarchy of like, it's almost like if you have better health care, it's almost like you flexing a nice car. Like I can afford this. Being my status allows me to have a better life than you, and it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but that's just like you agree, like it shouldn't be
I mean,
that way.
The other thing too is that you would think that it would be a government run.
Like healthcare should not
system,
be a luxury, the way a nice car or a nice vacation or a nice beach house.
But if you look at like France and Switzerland, they have private companies running the healthcare system, but those private companies are funded by the government, and they're also have regulations of how expensive things can be, which is, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you add federal, state, local, and sales taxes and include other costs and services that our taxes don't cover but other countries' taxes do, like our uniquely high health insurance premiums, you'll find that Americans actually give away more of their wages than most of the developed world. For example, in Canada, for a married worker with 2 kids, all of the previously mentioned costs combined, from taxes to health insurance premiums, make up only 11% of the average wage. In the UK, it's just about 26%. Meanwhile, once you tack on the cost of our outlandish health insurance premiums, you're spending a whopping 43% of your paycheck. That's more than France, Finland, Sweden, and Norway. In real reality, Americans keep much less of what we own than in other countries. In other countries, their government takes a bit more tax, but then gives that money back to their citizens in the form of health care or job
They're
support,
seeing where their
or a
taxes are
general
going.
safety net for all vulnerable citizens, no matter how dusky they are.
The safety net thing, I think, is just good for us as humans to have, or what, I don't know what it's like to have that, but
Isn't that bizarre?
it's crazy to think that somewhere in the world, people choose to chase their passions or not go to a job just because of money or like safety, because they have a safety net that's provided by everyone as a collective together.
Don't choose not to go to jobs. I think that when you go to a job, whether you like it or not, if you see that your taxes are going to something positive, it makes you almost like less resentful. It makes you less like...
Yeah, but that's not positive to everyone, that it's going to like a big... to feed... not feed everyone, but like to be kind of like a community and help each other out.
But you're seeing that. Like, I don't see where our taxes are going. I don't. When I get a paycheck and I see
I get what you're saying.
This much is
it's
taken out.
It's definitely not going to
for
roads.
This, and this.
It's definitely not going to roads.
You're not seeing like you know what I mean? Like
I do, yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't see progression. I see homeless people, and I see me going to the doctor getting charged $1,000 to get a prescription to get an inhaler.
And then you might go bankrupt if you can't afford it, even after insurance covers.
You know,
whatever it covers.
Yeah, like if I went to the doctor and it was just like an easy breezy smooth fucking trip, and it was just like maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, like, because that's what going to the doctor is. I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, I see where our tax dollars are going.
Yeah.
As like a blanket statement.
Yeah.
Versus I go there and I'm still being gouged.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. The thing too, I think with like the safety net type of way, it would be like, if you look at someone who like really they really want to do a creative job, or they want to, but it, you know, they
want to pursue something
that's in their passion or something. Yeah. And 9 out of 10 times you're going to choose the safe thing here in America, because it's almost like you're being forced to be like a contributor to society at a job that you might not even like, just because it's safe.
Yeah, that's literally it. People don't choose most people don't choose what they're interested in. They choose what's
safe, what'll have insurance, right. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if every other developed country in the world kind of figured it out a little bit, I mean, we can make it better. We don't have to like copy what they're doing, but we can make it better as like humans.
Yeah, I mean, and that's raises a question: what is their actual intentions?
It's it's profit.
100%, it's profit. You could still be profiting substantially and not have so many people not taken care of in this country. And somewhere it's got to give. It doesn't feel like anywhere it gives.
Yeah.
In this country.
I just feel like I feel like I'm not crazy when I watch people from like other developed countries, like really nice countries, and they think that they don't understand the stress of like you worrying about getting sick or hurting yourself because you won't be able to afford medical. It's just weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously people get sick and they have their own like stress and worries. That's understandable. Like, knock on wood, someone gets like severely ill. That's still stressful. But adding a bill, that's
huge bill a lot of the time.
A bill that's going to set them back probably for life.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
like,
the thing that I saw too, and I need to ask my sister because I didn't even ask her. See, I didn't know before recently that they charge you to touch your baby here.
Oh yeah.
The skin to skin contact. They charge you like $40 to touch your baby.
Yeah, every little thing is
so fucking weird. Yeah. All right, let's continue this.
So what do Americans get for the money we pay in? Well, sure, we get a crumbling infrastructure, shameful homelessness, and millions of hungry, neglected children, but we also get some of the worst services in the developed world. Again, our healthcare. American healthcare is simultaneously the most expensive, the least efficient, and the least effective healthcare system in the developed world. Hey, the devil's trifecta. And in exchange for this extremely expensive, inefficient healthcare system, what do we get? Well, we get some of the worst health outcomes in the developed world. We have fewer hospital beds per capita than people in Turkey or Brunei. Americans have a lower life expectancy than people in Lebanon or Cuba.
That's what I was gonna say.
And in the Mississippi Delta and much of Appalachia, life expectancy is lower than in Bangladesh.
Sorry, before I forget, I'm sure he's going to mention this, like the additives that go into our food here that are illegal in most other countries.
That's a fucking crazy thing, too, that I barely started looking into. I was like, what the fuck?
This is what it feels like. It feels like whether it's the government or Big Pharma, because, you know, to me, it's almost interchangeable when you're talking about Big Pharma.
Yeah.
It's almost like they start a fire and then they sell you the solution to put it out.
That's exactly what it is.
And it's not... Yeah, and then you don't have a say in them starting the fire. Yeah. They're like, well...
You're fucked if you don't do anything. And you're fucked if you don't take our solution.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is an extreme analogy. It's not... Like, they're not actively every day. Whatever. You know what I mean? It comes in all forms. It comes with, like, student loan debt, too. Like, they almost... force something on you, and I know there's gonna be people who are like, you're not forced. When you're a child who already doesn't come from a family that has good money habits and is financially literate, you're not thinking, maybe I should go spend a couple years, educate myself on what I should do with my that's just not practical. It's not realistic, because I always know there's people who want to play that other card, people who definitely have had it easier in one way or another, whether it's their ethnic background or whether it's their financial background. Like, there are people who are, everyone's in one way or another. Actually, that's not true, not everyone is, but I would say a fair amount of people in America are privileged in one way or another. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
we have certain privileges too that are
like,
better than
us.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, we have like
our But I think people just need to be aware of that.
Sorry, landlord was texting.
Go.
But yeah, it just feels like they create the problem to sell you the solution. A problem that wouldn't have existed if they didn't put it. Implement it.
All right, let's continue.
Okay, excuse me.
In fact, in 2017, the United Nations sent a commissioner to West Virginia to document what he saw, and he described, quote, third world conditions of absolute poverty, unquote. We even have a higher infant mortality rate than people in Russia and Serbia. In every single metric, America does worse across the board. So why is healthcare so expensive? Because it's so complicated. You have to look for in-network physicians, schedule an established care appointment, beg for coverage from your insurance company that couldn't care less about you, and that's if you're lucky enough to have good insurance. Compare that to Britain and all of those other evil, socialist-like countries where it's simple. Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. That's it. I'll repeat that.
What a concept.
Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. And here's the best part. Even though Britain offers healthcare for free, their system is actually a lot cheaper to run than ours. Per capita healthcare spending in the US is almost 3 times what it is in Britain, and almost 5 times what Canadians spend. In fact, Americans spend the most per person of any country in the world for healthcare. But the free market is more efficient, you screech. But in America, private systems often aren't efficient at all. Private drug companies have an incentive to charge whatever they can get away with for pharmaceuticals. In Canada, a carton of insulin costs about $20. In the US,
I think
it costs
crazy.
I think even
$300.
that is stretching it. I don't even think it's 20.
But also, this goes back to like the inhaler situation for you,
Yeah.
because she's asthmatic, and when we were in Italy, the doctor was even like, "Do you want to take like a couple?" Because
He's like, I can write you
super
prescription
expensive,
for
like, over
whatever
there.
you want.
And it's crazy to me, the thinking of money before people. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I get, it's only in healthcare. Like if you're like a retail people selling like clothes or other stuff, that's different, because those are things that people choose to buy.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't choose to get hit by a drunk driver and need help and then get fucked with a medical bill after that.
Right.
Like that's not your choice, and that you shouldn't have to have that stress after that, because then you might just die of the stress of the medical bill and you could have been fine.
I 100% agree.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
And for anyone who doesn't agree, it's fine. Like just write below like, what do you think a solution could be for this?
Because this is not working. This isn't
not,
practical. Yeah. If it's impacting the majority in a negative way, there needs to be reworking. And I'm 100% positive that it's impacting everyone in a negative, not everyone, but most people in a negative way.
Majority of people, yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, healthcare shouldn't be a luxury, period.
I just think we need to stop thinking as selfish as we do here.
Yeah, it's this like scarcity push and shove mindset.
Yeah, like
it's like, get out of my way. I deserve.
Yeah, it's like standing
X, Y,
on
and
each
Z
other's
more than
shoulders
you.
and fucking bashing their teeth in
and
to get ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This might sound a bit spiritual, but I think humans are supposed to be working together collectively.
Yeah, when we were tripping out, and we were sitting we were on shrooms, and we were sitting by a lake, watching like the water and like ducks and stuff. I know, we were, but I said it out loud. I was like, I was sitting next to her and her cousin, and I'm like, what are we here? Like, what's the purpose of humans? I like said it, and I was really thinking like, what is our purpose here? And it really made me think like, I think we're here to support each other as human beings on this earth. That has to be like, because we're definitely not benefiting the earth in any way. So
we are a parasite to this fucking planet. Yeah.
Like animals have a purpose. They all know their purpose, and a lot of them actually contribute to the ecosystem of Earth.
Yeah.
But like we're just using up all the resources on it, and we're not really helping.
We bring nothing positive, and I know people are like, well, look at what we've done. We've created technology. The planet does not need technology. The planet doesn't need us here.
Well, it's for a consumer basis.
I can't think of one positive thing that humans contribute to the planet, not to other humans.
Other humans.
Exactly.
Because I was gonna say like art and music and stuff like that.
That is
very good contributions.
Positive that we have developed. Like,
but it's for other humans. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I doubt.
It's
the birds and the bees.
It's kind of ego a little bit. Yeah, that's true.
Which I understand. I know, like, there's not animals out there that are like, my existence is making yours better. I know not every animal is like
I don't think
making
like any animal.
Exactly. Well,
except
no,
for the parents.
There's a cycle of life, of insects and plants and things like that. But but they're not out there actively destroying the planet for their benefit.
Yeah.
As far as I can see.
Or
as far as we know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's like, if we're not here to
benefit.
grow as a species and to because didn't Elon say something not too long ago like, oh, we need or underpopulated, and then
Yeah, he said that that's going to be our biggest problem is underpopulation.
yeah, and I remember I was just like, well, according to who? Because there can be 100 people on this planet, and I would never
He's
consider
going
us
off the-
underpopulated.
He's going off the birth rates.
He's going off the fact that humans could go extinct if
Yeah.
we aren't at a certain quota.
Of new
Again.
babies being born every year.
Good for
Well, that actually, I mean, it makes sense. I'm saying, but he's saying
Right.
that like
He's
people
saying to
would die
keep-
off as like old people.
which is fine. I think that that would be a beautiful thing. The earth would fucking heal if humanity just disappeared. I'm sorry, but it's true. So when I remember seeing people speak about that, like, oh my gosh, we're under, and I'm like, if there's even one homeless person, we are not underpopulated. We're just, I mean, yeah, we're not.
Yeah, but I also
There's not a
well, yeah,
quality of life for everyone on this planet.
yeah.
We shouldn't be bringing more people here.
When we were tripping out too, I had like, I've thought about it many times before, but I just really felt like I started to feel like everything. And in the world, I'm sure it happens, but it really feels here in America more that everything about society right now is a giant scam.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a scam, and it just rips us off of
Insurance is
it just rips us off like about everything about like doesn't feel right when you really look outside a perspective when you're not actually in that part, like when you're not working a normal job, when you're not doing this, you actually can step outside and look at it and be like, that just doesn't, it's horrible. It doesn't help you as a human. It just helps like corporations and shareholders. But to what extent? I don't know. But let's continue so we don't.
Yeah, we go on tangents.
Cool.
Okay.
Sorry.
Excuse us.
And with private insurance companies footing the bill, hospitals have an incentive to get as much money out of patients as possible, too. In 2015, the average cost of an MRI scan in the US was $1,119, but it was only $215 in Australia. Spain, about $181. And our healthcare system is so inefficient that we spend over a third of our cost on administration. The United States spends significantly more on administration than we spend on preventative or long-term health care. That's just not smart. Okay, we get it. We all know that American healthcare is so much more expensive, you say, but that's the cost of having the freest freedom in God's favorite country. Well, guess what? Medical procedures that are totally free in Britain, like giving birth, cost tens of thousands of dollars in the United States. I mean, you want to talk about the cost of freedom.
Baby. I think he was having.
Sorry,
a
our
nightmare.
dog. When he sleeps, he has like bad dreams and stuff or something
Not
like
every
that.
time, but yeah, I think
He'll
has
twitch
like,
and stuff.
he has
Yeah.
trauma. Not from us. Trauma from his childhood. I swear it's not from us. We adopted. We rescued.
Sadly, because of these high costs, Americans often avoid going to the doctor, something almost half the population say they do. With shoddy or non-existent health insurance, Americans will wait until their conditions force them into the emergency room where treatment is far more expensive. Again, not a smart system. Quite often, they end up putting off medical visits and dying. Susan Finley, a 53-year-old Walmart employee in Colorado, got pneumonia and took one day off of work beyond what Walmart's policy allows. So of course, Walmart's gonna
Fuck
Walmart,
Walmart.
which they did by firing her.
Damn.
Without her job, she lost her nominal health care coverage, she struggled to find new work, and after avoiding a visit to the doctor for flu-like symptoms, she was found dead in her apartment.
This is fucked.
That makes
And
me sad.
Also, there was
Why would you fire her,
I know.
Walmart?
There was a 26-year-old who just got off his parents' insurance, and he was not at a job yet to have like a new insurance, and he needed insulin because he was diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and they were gonna charge him like $1,000 for a month's supply.
Was this the one that was on like the Patriot Act or
Yeah.
something a while ago?
Yeah, and
He
he
rationed it. or
he
something?
no, he couldn't afford it, so he walked out to try to figure something else out, and he died the next day.
That's so sad. I remember seeing. I think it was the Patriot Act.
It's just fucking crazy. It's just like I don't
Like,
get it.
Like some guy was trying to ration it because he couldn't afford it, and he
Yeah.
also ended up dying. I could not imagine having diabetes and not like insulin is so fucking expensive.
Here it is, yeah.
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 Here, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel the need to go get a passport and hop the border to go get affordable
Yeah. I know.
medicine.
Yep.
When Americans do manage to get treated, they frequently can't afford it. Simple, life-saving treatments can cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if they don't have really good insurance, they're forced to take on medical debt. Tens of millions of Americans owe medical debt, often into the tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, in a country like Britain or Norway, medical debt is almost unheard of. But hey,
What a concept.
that's why GoFundMe is such a critical component of American healthcare. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills. I'll repeat that. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns
Read the
is now
room.
for medical bills. America is such a strong, powerful, rich, and great country that its citizens have to beg strangers on the internet for money so they can get life-saving treatments that are free in the rest of the developed world. But hey, that's just healthcare. Americans get terrible deals wherever you look. Let's take work, for example. Americans work
shit.
longer hours than people in any other rich country in the world, and that's not because they enjoy sleep deprivation and not seeing their families for days at a time. It's because they don't want to starve, or freeze, or die. See, America has the least generous job support programs, the least generous family benefits, and the least generous unemployment benefits of any wealthy country. It's one of the only countries on Earth that doesn't guarantee paid time off for vacations. It doesn't even help provide paid time off for parents who just had a child. And it's not coincidental that we're also one of the most hostile countries to workers' rights. America has one of the lowest unionization rates in the entire world. Maybe this deprivation, our refusal to give people the means to lead a good, dignified life commensurate with how rich our country is, can explain a bit of what we've seen in the United States over the last few decades.
Yeah, and we live in LA, so we see like it.
Impact.
I mean, just this is why when we've gone to other countries, and we haven't lived like indefinitely in other countries, but we do kind of plan on doing that in the near future.
We don't know. We're gonna try to.
We will.
don't-
We will.
Yeah.
It's one of our goals for the near future to move to another country so we can really, really take in what it's like. And that would also be better to explain. But we're just explaining we stay like maybe close to like a month at a time when we went. It's like 2.5 weeks that we would go to places like
That's
other
fine.
countries.
Yes. Keep going. You're
Okay.
trying to say like yeah.
But we when we were in the other countries, we really made it a point to live like the locals and not be like tourists. Like we wanted to actually
a little
like,
bit of both, but definitely not just tourists.
Yeah. I think we prefer to live like the locals.
Yeah, I agree.
But this is where I think it comes in that what's that saying that in America we live to work, but in other places they work to live.
Yeah.
This is where that comes in, where that why they enjoy life more and they're not so stressed out all the time in other countries. Like I noticed the people in the other countries, especially when we went to Asia and some parts of Europe, they're way more just like nonchalant and like
They're just
easygoing.
Yeah, and those aren't even like technically developed countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I know.
Anyway, but I was gonna say that I know people who live like in the Midwest or just they don't really live near like touristy areas in America. They don't really see the impact that is going on
With homelessness?
With a lot of like yeah.
There's a lot of
Um,
untreated mental health too that should probably be covered also.
Yeah. So I think that because they don't see it, and a lot of people who live in these areas don't leave their hometowns most of their life.
Yeah.
That's not all of them. I know there's people who still like make an effort to leave, whatever. But a lot of people are content, and that's fine with their bubble that they live in. So they almost, it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
They hear about it, but unless it's in front of their face, they're not going to believe it. Like,
Yeah.
or they just don't give a fuck enough about it. And it is what it is. Like, it's like, I don't know. I truly feel like every person should make somewhat of an effort to see outside of their
Themselves.
understanding
Yeah.
and stuff.
They just try to get different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because,
That's the only way for us to grow as humans, I think.
it is, and it's the only way people will start to give a shit. Enough people will start to give a shit,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It
I mean,
really
I would happily pay taxes for things that I know are gonna be a communal effort, like things to help everyone.
right. So
Yeah.
I mean that. It, also, America's huge. Like we're a huge country,
Yeah.
so there shouldn't be things that overall affect the entire country.
Yeah, I think we just also the government allocates money to things that really don't have anything to do with
Like
its citizens.
there's not a state where insulin's cheaper than the next state, in my understanding.
I do believe Mark Cuban is trying to start something for prescription drugs to be
Cheaper.
a lot cheaper, which is cool. I think finally someone who's a billionaire should they're trying to make it, but I think they know that how difficult it's going to be to take on any type of big
That's-
pharma.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
any
like
private.
they control our country.
Yeah.
You want to continue or
But yeah, so I know there's a lot of like laws that are state laws versus federal, but
Yeah.
from my understanding, healthcare isn't like a statewide issue. It's a
it's
federal,
a federal?
issue.
Yeah, it is.
So
It is. It's a
that's-
countrywide issue.
It,
Yeah.
it shouldn't even. Anyway.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, I know.
The country,
Yeah.
if it's gonna be a federal issue, it needs to be something that's gonna benefit the entire country.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry. Got
Fraying communities, rising rates of depression and suicide, huge numbers of deaths from drug overdoses. These so-called deaths of despair, suicide, drug overdoses, alcoholic liver disease, they're one big reason why American life expectancy has actually started to decline over the last few years. And with such poor conditions, it's not a surprise that poverty is so rampant in the United States. America devotes a smaller percentage of spending on social welfare than any other industrialized economy because, say it with me, socialism is evil. It's evil. Go to Denmark and try telling those happy, healthy families enjoying their paid vacation that their system of government is evil. Guess what?
a laugh.
I guarantee they'll know you're an American. But I digress. America also has the highest rate of child poverty of any developed
But
country.
hey, abortions are bad. And also, again, the people who are so anti-socialism, they don't live in, like, I hate saying touristy areas, but they don't live in like
Yeah, I know.
places that have
Yeah.
culture.
And the highest percentage of workers earning significantly less than the national median income. That seems pretty evil to me, especially since such a tiny fraction take as much of your money for themselves and their families as you will let them. All the while, both parties smile and shake hands. Across every single metric, no people accept a worse deal than Americans today.
Yep.
High taxes, high cost of living for next to nothing in return from the government.
We really
most
don't get
expen-
anything from them. It's like if we're paying taxes to the government, why isn't our quality of life being bettered at
And
all?
we don't have a say in this type of stuff. We don't
Yeah.
have a say in how much we are paying for
Yeah.
medicine, for just going to the doctor in general.
I know it would be less too. Like I know like paying the taxes for the
Why aren't we voting on that?
for health insurance or
'Cause-
just like covered health care for all, it would probably be less than you have to pay at your job to have your own health insurance.
I'm wondering.
And I know that, but there is a big argument too about like you'll have long wait times, you'll get lower quality, but I don't know.
So
All
the
the surveys and stats that I've
alternative-
watched.
So the alternative is make people so poor that they can't afford it, so that the lines will be shorter. Like that's psychotic.
I know. I mean, I'd rather wait a few hours and still get good treatment because I look like the
I
people do get good
promise
treatment,
you,
and I would
if-
rather just not be in debt for the rest
exactly.
of my life.
I promise
I would
you.
wait 5 to 10 hours to not be in debt for the rest of my life.
If someone is going to the doctor because they're like, oh, it's free or it's affordable, so fuck it, I'm only going because I can afford it.
Yeah.
And they see a 3-hour line for something that they know is gonna, they take some Advil or some Pepto-Bismol will go away tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're not waiting in that line. No one's willingly waiting 3 hours in a line unless it's an emergency. And at that point,
Yeah. I know.
it's like this. It's the same situation if they can't afford it.
Yeah.
Like if I can or can't afford it, I'm going to the doctor the same amount as I would,
Yeah.
regardless. So I mean, him and I are the type we don't go unless it's
We
pretty
need
much
to.
an emergency.
But also that's what I
a
heard.
physical.
Most other countries they do that. They don't have like annual checkups and stuff. You just go when you have to go because there's something.
Exactly. And
They have the annual checkups here to keep another bill, to have another bill.
whatever. I mean, whatever makes you sleep at night. If you feel like going and getting a physical and having a checkup is you're gonna rest easy, do it. Fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
But also.
but I don't think people are gonna abuse the fact that the healthcare is universal.
I'm sure some people do, but I feel like it would have to.
I don't think majority of
No,
people
I'm
will.
saying I
no
think
one's running there like
yeah,
it's
I think the pros of that system would outweigh the cons.
absolutely.
Yeah. But also like about the whole Denmark thing, I was listening to someone from Denmark talking about it, and they are socialists, but they also have some capitalistic ideas.
It's
or
probably like
practices.
democratic socialism.
Yeah. So I think that's good because you need a little bit of the capitalism to have entrepreneurs and stuff like that, but not to the extent that we have in America, where they're just raping people out of their money.
I feel like capitalism to an extent exists almost everywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
Everywhere it
just
has
not-
entrepreneurs, has
Exactly.
businesses. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just not the way of life. It doesn't
Yeah.
dictate every fucking decision the
yeah,
government
and it
makes.
shouldn't be I don't think it should be in healthcare and in education. I don't think there should be
I
profit in
agree.
that. I think people should have the right, if they choose, to study anything they want for free or at a very low cost.
Period.
And if they get in a really bad accident that they had no control over, and say they even have a job and their insurance doesn't cover half of the bill, and it's $100,000 bill, you have 50 grand that you have to pay out of pocket. Like, that's crazy.
I just feel like it's so weird to pay to be educated on something
Yeah.
that is gonna contribute to the world
Yeah.
later.
And I really hope if people are watching from other countries, just let us know like your opinion on it, and if you've ever like your own situations, anything you don't like, you do
I also
like
want
about the
proof
European
that you're from
systems.
there. I don't want no Americans writing like they're from another country. I want
I mean,
proof.
from what I've seen on other videos, and they don't really do that. But okay,
I'm
that's-
saying like commenting
I
or
get it.
whatever.
Okay.
There's always those little people who are just like,
well,
you know
I
what?
think I've noticed
My
too,
cousin lives
since
there
we're
and he says
we're
it
a
sucks.
I know we're a smaller channel right now. I noticed it's easier for people to we're like
Shit
an
on
easier
us?
target to hit.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Just keep attacking
I'll just
us.
delete your shitty ass comment. I'm just kidding. You still got
All right,
your view.
let's finish this off.
The
Sorry.
most expensive healthcare system for the worst health outcomes. More money taken from workers for the highest rate of child poverty. We are the richest country in the history of the world, but we have fewer miles of high-speed rail than Uzbekistan. We are the greatest country in the world, yet we have the most people in prison of any country,
Oh,
and the
God,
highest.
the prison system. That's that. I honestly don't think that should be for profit either.
Disgusting.
It just it
25% of
I know.
prisoners of the whole world
I know.
are here.
I know, and it's because we incentivize people to get arrested. Like we don't
It's
incentivize people
disgusting.
to get arrested, but we incentivize like
The laws that are creating them to get arrested.
to have more people in prison.
It's fucking foul. It's
Yeah,
honestly, that's a crime.
yeah. I don't
It's
know.
a crime putting this many people in prison for whatever fucking reason.
A lot of the reasons too are like, imagine marijuana. You went in like 25 years ago. and
Period.
you're like, fuck, it's legal now.
Yeah.
I would
No.
sue the fucking. I don't know who I would be able to sue, but I would just be like, what the fuck.
Well,
All right.
suing, I don't know. Like,
I was just
but
exaggerating, but
they
yeah,
should be
yeah.
off the hook.
They should
be
get
a
money.
there should
They
be
should
a-
get money back for their time.
there should be a trigger law, just like there is for abortions. There should be a trigger law for as soon as something is like over, like
Yeah.
like marijuana is now recreational.
Yeah.
Let those fuckers out of jail. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe I'm sure certain states did maybe, but I don't know.
I don't
know.
think so.
Maybe not. I
It
don't know.
should be instant. They're
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Bye bye. Whatever. But they keep them in jail because they profit significantly off these
Yeah.
inmates. It's really sad.
All right.
Modern day slave labor.
and the highest incarceration rate as well, and a higher rate of police killings than in Angola and Sudan. America's bad at everything because instead of choosing to make life better for people through a public healthcare system or more generous childcare policies or better public transit or programs that allow people to spend more time with their families, American law is designed and crafted to protect a class of parasitical middleman industries. Instead of using a proportionally tiny piece of the massive amount of the wealth in this country to make people's lives healthier and happier, most of our elected leaders are, and have been for generations, engaged in a massive project of looting, gently and lovingly guiding as much money as possible from working people into the pockets of the well-connected and the ultra-rich. Think about that as we start hearing about the inevitable rise in homelessness, poverty, starvation, and sickness that will occur during these coming months and years.
That they will turn a blind eye to.
Yeah.
That is like,
I don't know.
It's insane.
And the other thing too that other people will say is like, well, then doctors and nurses won't get paid as much. And I see that. I get that. But I think there's a way America can do it to still pay the medical people really well and also provide healthcare for people. It's not impossible. I don't know why it doesn't have to be impossible.
I think that if that debt that most medical professionals they have under them was eliminated or cut in half or even more than half,
but why are we making it
they wouldn't need to get paid as much.
I know,
because
but shouldn't
they wouldn't owe so much in loans, because a lot of the reason is because they're paying so much to go to school.
But education like that, you should want to like
you should
promote
want people
to want to go study that for free and
or
or even really
affordable.
low cost.
Yeah.
Even if it was like $5,000 for medical school or something, like I'm sure people would pay that happily and still be so stress free when they get a job.
Right.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Or
Years. In the greatest, strongest, richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth. I'm David Cross for the Gravel Institute.
Techno music plays.
All right, guys.
His pupils look like.
I know. Well, that was our
dilated.
first reaction video. It's kind of fun doing that. If you enjoyed it and stuff like that, let us know. Like, subscribe. Maybe we'll do more of them.
Please let us know respectfully your opinions on like this video, because or even like our response, because I like to hear other sides or other people's opinions if you're not trying to belittle what we're feeling and saying too. Because again, Brian and I are still very privileged in one way or another. I feel like most people that are of white passing in this country are extremely privileged. Some more than others, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that this country overall sucks. And I know that sounds ignorant to say.
I do think that there are a few good things here. There's a few.
You know, I'm not talking about the beauty in this country, like landmarks and I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about what we've accepted and
as like the normal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting when you see other countries that are like, aren't they a first world country? Like, how can they not take care of its citizens?
And I know TikTok is not the best source of information, but I feel like that app really woke a lot of people up in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
That America ain't shit compared to what they preach and what they say.
In a lot of aspects, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in a lot of aspects.
A lot of Americans are seeing other people in developed countries that are living a life that even we were told they were. We were told socialism sucks. Like, growing up, we were told like Americans are number one.
It does.
We have figured out.
It does suck, but it sucks for a very specific group of people.
Yeah.
The really rich people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we were told that America has it all figured out. We are like
the number one.
The number one. Like, we are the country that everyone looks to and turns to for direction and guidance and how to progress.
My eyes didn't really start opening up to how it was kind of like it's like a facade.
It feels like we are borderline hostages here, because it's almost guaranteed you will be in debt here. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Well, it's the American way.
Your parents are fucking loaded. Okay.
Or if they're able, I mean, if they know how to, if they're smart, like financially literate, and teach you to not get into that stuff or to use debt to benefit you, that's different.
Again.
Yeah.
There's no way someone of lower or middle class
will ever know that.
Will know that.
Yep. I know.
Or they're not practicing it because they wouldn't be in that situation.
I feel like also we'd have so much more like minorities getting into really good, high-paying jobs and good. If education was really low cost or free, people would be coming up from other areas that they usually wouldn't, because they say like, finally I have the opportunity to go pursue this.
Right. And so again, not to bring it back to abortion, but like a lot of people like to act like, what if that person cures cancer? What if that person is the next, I don't know, Elon Musk? But it's like, even if they were I'm sorry, like, I doubt the government's gonna like, okay, well, like, think of it this way. What if the parent, like the mom or the dad who wanted to abort the kid, could have been the one to cure cancer, about now they can't because they have to have a
Yeah.
setback or whatever. But I also think, I also think that we're not gonna probably give that kid the opportunity to get there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it just depends where they come from.
Of course.
But it's also depending. Obviously, there's a lot more things that go into it. But
I also
if a person is where they're surrounded by and like their environment, you have to look at like what created that environment in the first place.
circumstances,
What
yeah.
created that overall? And it's usually not any people. It's the system of people that create something to only benefit certain people.
amount.
That's what. And I don't think those people that are in that situation that don't better themselves, I don't think they are completely to blame. But there's this thing that's
They don't
going. There's
know
this like
better.
mindset going around that like, well, they need to figure it out.
They don't know
should-
better
yeah.
though. They're
But
not
I'm
given
saying-
the same
yeah.
tools that other people are
Yeah,
given.
the system needs to be reshaped to help everyone.
Have almost the
Yeah.
same playing field
yeah,
from
exactly.
the beginning.
We need just the same playing field.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so like when I see us exploring I love space, and I think it's the coolest, like most fascinating thing, but it stresses me out with like this new telescope, and like they're finding other planets. I think they just found one that they found like carbon dioxide on. I don't know. I just think about the fact that like we can't even get our shit together here, and we're trying to go colonize
Yeah.
a planet or two, and like,
I know.
you know what I mean? It's
And
like we aren't.
yeah.
We don't deserve that.
I know.
We just don't.
And also, like, I don't think other countries are perfect. Obviously not. They all
Yeah.
have problems, and I know
course.
people that are from other places. They're gonna be able to say the problems in much more detail.
Right.
But I really think that in certain aspects of just human beings and looking out for each other as a community and society,
Should be
they are way
non-negotiable.
ahead of us. Yeah, and it's just my opinion. I don't know. I think we need to start thinking as humans and not just like coming up off each other.
Pawns.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, let us know if you like this video. Yeah, like and subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to our vlog channel, which is a little more like interactive and stuff like that.
It's pretty much Brian putting a camera in my face, laughing at me, and saying, "Yeah, no, I'm kidding."
So if that sounds fun
I
to
love
you,
you.
go. I'll leave the link in the description below. All right.
Thank you.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.